Welcome back to Good Morning San Diego. mp4 is a group dedicated to finding jobs for returning veterans. Joining us this morning is the founder and the author of the book Look Forward, Bob Dixon, as well as Marine veteran Brent Danbury. Thank you both so much for being here this morning. And Bob, we'll start with you and your book Look Forward, because this is really what sparked this group, mp4.
That's right. In 2009, my son was riding his motorcycle. He was, a car crossed into his lane, hit Bobby. His injuries were horrific. He was expected to die. I was 8,000 miles away, had to ask a priest to give him the last rites and then get on a plane and fly back home to Boston without knowing if he actually had lived the whole time. Bobby did live. As he was recovering, it was clear that I couldn't continue to do the work that I was doing, so I quit my job. As I started looking for work again, I also started to find military personnel that were struggling to find jobs. I started to coach them. The response was incredible, and the Military Civilian Career Coaching Connection was founded. We're the largest group on LinkedIn that provides pro bono coaching and mentoring to U.S. military personnel.
And that's how you know Brent here.
And it's one of the good things that comes from tragedies that sometimes happens that you don't realize in the beginning. And we talk about not just mp4 in the book, but other things that have happened that come from these unfortunate events.
Yeah, take something negative and
turn it into a positive. That's right.
So Brent, you have been a part of mp4. How were you helped?
I was helped by the number of coaches that were there that were from the civilian side that did not really understand the language of the military, which is the biggest challenge that the veterans face. Going to someone like Bob and the other coaches and mentors there and describing what we do in the military, they're able to translate it for us and actually make it where it was more understandable for our resumes and interviews and everything else.
So were you able to get a job?
Yes, I was.
Wonderful. And that's what it's all about, Bob.
That's what it's all about. We've had several hundred people get jobs, and we keep doing it every single day. We've got almost 1,400 members, or pretty close to 200 coaches, and it absolutely works. But again, I think it's one of those unexpected benefits, or one of the unexpected positive things that sometimes comes out of the unfortunate events that happened to my son.
How is your son doing?
Bobby's doing amazingly well. He's a paraplegic. He spent 3 weeks in a coma. We didn't know if he was going to come out of the coma or not, but when he did, I was the first one that he asked for. But he is a paraplegic, and he learns to adapt and overcome all of the obstacles that he has to face every day. Probably would make a pretty good Marine.
Sounds like it, definitely. So are you looking for more volunteers, more mentors, or are you asking for vets to reach out?
If you're on active duty military, find us on LinkedIn, join us, read the discussions, reach out to coaches for help. If you're a civilian and you want to become a coach, you can apply to be a coach. Just remember that we have high expectations, and we only accept about 40% of the coaches, people that want to be coaches. And please go to bobdixonbooks.com, buy the book. If when you're finished reading it, you don't feel good about the human spirit, then we will have failed in writing it.
Well, what a wonderful story, though. I mean, you really put things in perspective when you talk about it like that. Bob, thank you so much for coming in, and Brent, Happy New Year to you both.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.